Fennekin Community Day is right around the corner, and so as is tradition, we're going to break down its viability with its exclusive move. However, what's interesting this time around is that Delphox is getting two charged moves, the exclusive Blast Burn and Mystical Fire, a brand new move. So let's get fired up and talk about how good Delphox is with these moves. Welcome back everyone. So Delphox Community Day gives it not one, but two charged moves. To clear up any confusion though, it's Blast Burn that's the exclusive move that you'll get from evolving. Mystical Fire on the other hand will be a brand new move that will be permanently added to its move pool starting with its Community Day, so that's a move you'll freely be able to TM away and back, whereas Blast Burn will only be available through the event or an Elite TM. But let's dive into just how good the brand new move, Mystical Fire, actually is. In raids and gym battles, this move is actually pretty good. It's got decent power for its energy cost, and its cooldown isn't too bad either. Looking at the difference between Mystical Fire and Brutal Swing, an example of a really good 3-bar charged move, there's not a huge difference, with Brutal Swing just being a tad quicker and doing a little more damage, but Mystical Fire is still pretty good. But as we'll see later, Blast Burn is still going to be the better choice. For PvP though, Mystical Fire is far more interesting. The move has 60 power for 45 energy, which is alright, but what makes it really good is the effect. It will always lower your opponent's attack by one stage, which is super helpful in PvP. Basically, it's a clone of the moves Icy Wind and Lunge, both of which are excellent in the Go Battle League. So what does this move, and also Blast Burn, do for Delphox? Well, when it comes to raids, Delphox will be a solid raid attacker with Fire Spin and Blast Burn, generally the second best fire starter after Blaziken. But the issue is that nowadays, plain fire starters aren't really that impressive in raids, at least when compared to the variety of better fire attackers, including Darmanitan, Reshiram, Moltres, various Shadows and Megas, and Chandelure, who just had a Community Day last October, and doesn't even need a legacy move to be good. So if you've not got any of those, Blast Burn Delphox will do a pretty good job, but if you do have a team of those already built, Delphox won't dethrone any of them. But now let's move on to PvP, and it's not much better unfortunately. Blast Burn and Mystical Fire are both good moves that make Delphox better, but Delphox itself isn't too fit for PvP in general, so it's hard to save. It's on the Glacier side, and Fire as a type isn't too defensive either, with Water, Ground, and Rock all causing problems for it, and unfortunately, its Psychic subtyping only really makes it worse, giving it weaknesses to Dark and Ghost as well. And most of those things are pretty common in the Great and Ultra Leagues, so it's not looking good. And what's worse is that Delphox's other moves aren't that fantastic either. Fire Spin is a pretty average fast move, but nothing standout. And all its other charged moves are just worse fire moves, plus Psychic, which really doesn't do too much good for it coverage-wise. Delphox would want to run a mono fire type moveset in PvP, which can work in some scenarios, but I'd rather just use something like Charizard instead. If Niantic were to give it some additional moves like Incinerate or Shadow Ball though, Delphox could carve out a decent niche, but as is, it's not very good. But before I end, I did want to make a note about some other Pokemon that could learn Mystical Fire in a move update later on. Drifblim, Mismagius, Clefable, and Sylveon are all Pokemon who would love to see this move at some point, and there's definitely others too. For me personally though, I'd love to see Gourgeist get Mystical Fire. Back in October, I did a Perfecting Pokemon video explaining how Gourgeist could step out of the shadow of Trevenant, and while I still think Incinerate would be a great move for it, Mystical Fire could be even better. But that just about wraps up this Comm Day analysis. For Delphox, this Community Day doesn't do a whole lot for it, but I do think Mystical Fire itself is a very exciting move, and I hope we see it on other Pokemon. And if nothing else, the Fennekin line does have some great shinies. Until next time though, thanks so much for watching, and I wish you all the best of luck on Fennekin Community Day. Take care.